You ever have those days you wake up and you just feel really stiff? Or those days you wake up and every single muscle is sore in your body from the workout the day before? Well, today we're covering a quick hip flexibility and hip stretch routine that you can do on days like those. And you don't have to stretch for 30, 45 minutes. Just a quick routine you can do in the morning, maybe something while the coffee's brewing. And one more thing, first half is going to be just the routine. The second half of this video is links to the specific exercises if you see one that you don't really know how to do, or maybe you just need a refresher. See the links below. All right, let's go. We're going to start on our backs with the supine piriformis stretch. We're going to add a little bit of a rock towards the side you're holding with this one. And switch. Okay, let's go to our side for a quad stretch. And switch. All right, let's go into a 90-90 position. And we'll switch. Okay, next up, let's hit the adductors with the frog stretch. All right, and let's move to half kneeling for hip flexor stretch. You can add some side bending towards the leg that's raised for a little bit extra stretch. And switch. To do the supine piriformis stretch, you're going to start on your back. And all we're doing is we're going to bend one hip, put the outside of your other ankle on top. You loop hands, one hand through the gap, the other one around the side. You're just going to interlock behind the back of that thigh. And all we do here is if you feel a good stretch here, you just hold it. Make sure back's nice and flat. If you want more stretch, you can try to drive this leg up towards you, and you should feel that a little bit more. Now we're holding the left thigh here, but you should feel this on the right hip. And what I like to do once we're here is just add a little bit of rotation, and I get more stretch on that right hip, and then I take the tension off by coming back to neutral. So that little bit of rock adds a little bit of stretch. Okay, the side-lying quad stretch. This one's nice. It's not too difficult. You're gonna lie on your side. What we're doing, top hand grabs top foot. And all we're doing is we wanna keep a straight line from like knee up to ear, and we're just pulling, trying to touch heel to butt on that top leg. Now, if you don't feel much here, we'd want to put a little more stretch on the hip flexors by bringing this top leg back. So you can pull back a little bit and then heel to butt. And we're hitting the quad with this stretch and the hip flexor, so you'll feel both, most likely. You'd hold this for about 30 seconds and then you switch. It's called the 90-90 stretch because you'll see once you're in the position, you'll have about a 90-degree here on this top leg, and you'll have a 90-degree here on this bottom leg. So once you're here, if you're tight, and you can kind of see that I'm leaning way off to the left. So I need to use my left arm to bring my body back to the upright position. And that's where you'll feel that stretch. Now, driving your shoulders forward will increase that amount of stretch. So I like to do little pulses when I'm here. And the goal for me is to eventually be able to do it without using this support hand. But right now, if I were to take that out, I'd probably smack my head on this wooden ledge. So I pulse in and out, hold it a little bit. And it looks the same on this side, just so you can see it from the camera angle. I'm supporting here. We got 90 here, 90 on the back. And same thing, pulse in and out. Okay, the frog stretch. We're hitting adductors or inside of the thighs with this stretch. And what we want to do, we want to spread out knees so they're nice and wide. That's going to put that stretch on the adductors. We also want to have our feet turned out. So it's like the inside of your foot is trying to press against the floor. Once you're here, I drop down on my elbows. That puts a little more stretch on the adductors. And then we're just shooting your hips straight back. When you're here, you'll feel more stretch on that muscle group. And same thing, we're going to pulse in and out of this one. Trying to go a little bit further each time. Back should be nice and flat. To get more stretch, you just go a little bit wider with the knees. I can't go any wider than this. And the last one, my personal favorite, is the half kneeling hip flexor stretch. So one leg's up, one leg's back. We want a couple things to think about with this one. We want back to be nice and flat. So we don't want a big arch in the back. We want it nice and flat. Kind of along the same lines is flat back. We want this glute engaged. So it's kind of like you're pressing your hips forward and you're getting that muscle to turn on. That's just going to put more stretch here. So from the front, it looks like this. Back's flat. I'm engaging that right glute, lunging forward a little bit. In the video, you don't have to do this, but to get a little bit more stretch, we just side bend to the side with the upright leg. And you can reach, you can add a little bit of rotation, kind of play around here and do what feels good. And you feel a good stretch. And it looks the same on this side. Back's flat, glutes engaged. Lunge, and a little bit of side bend. I'm kind of pulsing in and out of that lunge too, just to make it a little more dynamic.